Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great week to this point. I'm really, truly excited. I'll be honest with you. I haven't been this excited in a while. Um, Despite having experienced a lot of different successes over the course of my life, I still get excited about everything I do. So I stay in this current state of excitement and anticipation about these things that are happening and changing and coming up in my life. But right now, I'm really, truly excited because there's these things as we shift how we're doing things with the company and to scale out. I'm withdrawing from as a whole bunch of one-on-ones so that I can create programs that more people can access and I don't have to be present, which allows the price points to change, but also allows me to grow my company. I'm excited about that, but it also creates these awesome opportunities where I can give when I want to without subtracting from myself because I've already invested into creating these things. Today is Wealth Building Wednesday, and I want to talk with you today about the importance of mastering the game. But before I do, I want to share with you in celebration of it being Wealth Building Wednesday. I told you about it yesterday, and those who didn't get it, the deal as far as getting the 7-day online business launch course and then getting the other courses discounted or free. That expired at 11:59, but I decided to double down and do something different with it being Wealth Building Wednesday. So here's what's going to happen. That $2,600 course, Path to Generational Wealth. It's an 18-month course I built from the ground up. It took me years to gather the information, to talk to the people who knew. This isn't what Doc knows. This is what Doc went out and talked to the brilliant minds in investing in wealth development and wealth building to put this course together. It's 18 months, regularly $25.95, $2,600. Today, I'm dropping that price only today to 11:59 p.m. tonight. I'm dropping it to $5.99. But I'm not going to stop there because this is the day of giving, because giving is a part of wealth building. This is the day of giving. So I'm dropping that $2,600 course, 18-month course. When I tell you it's the most comprehensive course on wealth building out there, I know because I've looked, I've searched. And if I found something that wasn't in my course, I developed my version of it and put it in my course. I wanted people to have everything that they have in front of you so you know that it's possible, so that you can start practicing it, so that you can change your life. I started using it. There was so much I knew on the front end about business, about generating revenue. There was so little I knew about what to do with it when I got it. And so I started practicing it. I'm starting to use it. I'm starting to think differently. And I've been doing it for a while, but I'm thinking differently and I'm seeing what's happening. I'm trusting processes. But anyway, not only am I dropping that to $5.99, I'm going to give you the 7-day online business launch course, which is a $599 course free. Now you're going to learn what I've done over the last 13 plus years in building online revenue streams, more than 20 plus online revenue streams over the last 13 years and counting. Well over 20. I know it's over 20. Last time I counted it was well over 20, and I've done some things since then. So you're going to get that free. You're going to get the Mind Unleashed, which is another online course, $5.99, that I created, that's going to help you look at your mindset and build your mindset. You're going to get that free. Not only that, you're going to also get the Ascension Personalized 6-month Success and Growth Plan. This is a system I created that allows us to take information that you provide by questionnaire, by a DISC assessment and a personality assessment. And based on where you're from, your personal strengths, your personal weakness, your personality, your goals, and your dreams, we create a 6-month success and growth plan that is guaranteed to get you from where you are now further along in established in habits built for you to guarantee success in life. This 6-month thing, we're actually doing it at an unbelievable rate already of $99, but you're going to get that free as well. And to top it off, you're going to get 2 transformational intensive sessions with yours truly. Those 2 sessions are valued at $1,000. All of that for $599. It only is going to last until tonight at 11:59 p.m. So if you're serious about change, you want to do something different, this is a chance to do it. With that out the way, let's get started. When I've talked to anybody who has had any success in building wealth, I'm not talking about the revenue generating side of things. That's learning how to make money. And normally it requires you to be present and invest of yourself. And you need to know how to generate the revenue, because the revenue is what you're going to invest to create more revenue and ultimately wealth. So first, let me define wealth. Wealth is a point at which you reach in your financial career in which you have created passive streams of income that don't require your presence or you to wake up and do them, that operate and produce revenue at a level that supports your lifestyle. So, in other words, you don't have to work. Your lifestyle is supported from now on because you created revenue streams through investing that have produced passive streams of income that support your lifestyle. Whatever that lifestyle is, and that's different for every person. Everybody doesn't want a yacht and a private plane. Everybody doesn't want to buy an island. Everybody, all these different things that you hear about. You say, okay, they're wealthy. They're wealthy because they can do it. That doesn't require being able to do what they're doing isn't required to be wealthy. Wealthy is your ability to financially sustain yourself without having to show up to a job, whether it's your company or someone else's. So, okay, with that being said, then these people that I was able to talk to, one of the things that was constant is know the game. Know how the game is played before you start playing the game. That's why I created the course. The thing is, a lot of people jump in uninformed, think they know, took a couple of, read a couple of books, maybe took a 2-week course or something, and then jump in and then get their head handed to them. And then they're frustrated and they say, this is a bunch of bull crap. It's a bunch of things. Or they just go out and say, I'm going to go out and do this because everybody else is doing it. And it's good for a while. And then all of a sudden things start to tank and you don't know what to do. You panic, you sell, you whatever is going on. Here's the thing is, anything that has the potential to produce massive growth or expansion in an area of your life can also deduct from you if you're not careful. So in order to grow in any area, you take risks because you have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to put some skin in the game. And, no different. Say, for instance, a big part of my wealth is held in my company. And to be willing to sit up and say, I'm going to completely change models so that my company can grow, meaning that I'm going to actually have to turn down revenue of one-on-one so that I can create this new scale. It's scary as hell. Why? Because it's taken me out of my comfort zone. It's worked, but what has it done? It's bottlenecked me now. I can't get any further than that. I can only take on so many in the on my calendar in any given week, any given month, any given year. I've topped out. And if I want to grow my company, and I want sustainability because I can't keep going at that pace as well, I'm going to burn myself out. So what do I need? I need to step back and start scaling. But in order to do that, I've got to have the time to build. So I can't take on clients the way I used to. So now I'm very selective because I'm building something else. And that was this period, especially last year and leading up to last year, where it was real scary because you're pulling back and you're saying, man, I just let that go. I just let that go. But the whole thing is, if I don't, I might not be here in another 6 months anyway, because I'm going to burn out or I'm going to top out. There's only so many people that are going to pay you $15,000 to work with you. And okay, how long can I go on that? And you can do it, and you can sit up and you say, okay, I'm expanding my reach. I'm moving into different countries, which I have. But still, that requires my presence. That's not a good wealth model. And it's not a good sustainable long-term model. Plus, there's very little scalability in it. So same thing, I had to get out of my comfort zone. But what happens is most people get stuck in their comfort zone and won't invest. But the thing is, when they do decide, they jump on a whim. They do it impulsively. I was told over and over again, master the game. I was told by a person at the time I interviewed them was in their 80s. I think they're in their 90s now. Just turned 90, 91. And they said that they still read every day. They still research and learn every day. This is in his 80s, and I'm pretty sure he's still doing it. He's still alive, last I heard, but he's still doing it. And over again, I had the same thing. These people are constantly researching, learning, and communicating and gaining knowledge about this thing so they stay on top of the game. It's about mastering the game. It's about putting enough energy, effort, and commitment into being sure. You want to be an expert at anything that's your life is going to depend on. And so, if you're going to hang your hat on something, then you need to be an expert at it. When I decided that behavioral science was going to be the place where I hung my hat, it's not the only place I operate, but it's the place. And what happens is I found out because behavioral science basically influences every area of life. Psychology is a big part of wealth building. Psychology is a huge part of success. So it's not just about being mentally sound, it's about how you think and how you approach life. So now I realize that I can touch other areas because I have this expertise and hang my hat in other areas and build strengths in those areas as well and expand my impact. I have to be careful with myself because, again, I have a tendency to overextend. But I'm trying to get a point here. You need to be able to master money, the game, the way it's played, understand markets, understand global markets, understand global economies, understand local economies, understand the importance of passive income, all of the ways that you can create passive income. What are the risks of creating these particular passive incomes? What are your financial liabilities? How much are you going to pay in taxes? How much are you going to pay in fees? How much are you going to pay in commissions? All of these things are things you need to know. What are the commissions and fees and everything associated with any investment that you make? How much are you getting hit for fees in your 401k or retirement plan? Most people can't tell you that. While the last I checked, over $17 billion a year is being billed for fees on 401k plan. That's 17 billion that American citizens are paying in fees for their 401k. Now, you're going to pay something. An investment is not free. Building wealth is not free, but you need to know what you're going to pay, because if you don't know what you're going to pay, you don't know where your break even is. You don't know where your profit is. You have to have an understanding of what you do. There has to be a system. In order to create a system, there has to be an awareness and a knowledge of it at a level that you can go in. So what you need to be doing is reading. You need to be taking courses. You need to be working with people who've done it. You need to be talking to people, listening to them, research. If you can't get close enough to talk to them, I guarantee you there's a video or a book or something where they've exposed how they think and how they move. Somebody had the clout to get close enough to them to interview them. Find the people who've done that and exposed it and learn from it. You can't sit there and think based off of what they're giving you based on general media that you know enough about money. Most people can't even explain how we're operating with the US dollar as universal currency, while the dollar isn't backed by anything of value. Most people don't understand what drives a debt-based economy like the one here in the US. Why people are actually encouraged to spend more money than they make. That's why you have, no matter how much money you're making, the average American citizen is living at their means or beyond it. And they need a certain percentage of Americans to live beyond their means, because the debt in the US is what actually drives the economy. If you don't have people accumulating debt, there's no value to the dollar. And that's a problem. The dollar is constantly and consistently depreciating. So how are you going to hedge against that? Number one is deliquify. Get all your liquid assets and put it into something that, number one, grows through compound growth. You want to use compound interest to leverage whatever you're doing. So you definitely need to have something that you're putting into consistently into something that produces compound growth, like an index fund. If you were to ask Warren Buffett, he would tell you That one thing is one of the greatest contributors to his wealth. What I find really truly interesting also is that the vast majority of his wealth, while he was always wise and he was always learning and always starting companies, the vast majority of his wealth was built after age 50. So the idea that it's too late, no. If you're still breathing, you need to start creating. If nothing more, you want to be able to teach it to those who follow you in your family, your offspring, their offspring. You want to be able to teach it to them and pass, and then you want to have something to pass down. And then there's a way to pass it down. You need to understand how to use trust to do that, how to use trust to protect while you're alive, to protect it from external forces. There's a reason why trusts are used. Everybody always makes jokes about trust fund kids, but those trust funds are what ensures that no matter how stupid that kid is, they can't blow what they've been left, and that it will be passed on down. That's how Rockefeller got generation after generation after generation money, is using trust funds, and it's unique and powerful. There's a reason why one of his descendants, Nelson Rockefeller, once said, the goal is to own nothing and control everything. What is he saying? Put it in a trust. And there is so much more to learn in this. And the more pages I turned, the more phone calls I made, the more things I looked at. I'm like, wow, I didn't have a clue. I thought I knew. And here's the reason this is happening. Here's the reason that's happening. This is what I got to do. And you've got to be patient. And see, the one thing that we don't have a lot of right now is patience. We are in a microwave society. We are in a society that wants immediate gratification. We're in a society that wants everything to happen now. So when we can't get the get rich quick thing popping, we're on to the next thing. And there is no such thing as get rich quick. And I mean, you could win the lotto, but here's the problem. There is getting money. And another thing that I got from these people that I interviewed, and when you take the course, you'll see the names. I just don't feel like rattling off a bunch of names, but you'll see the names of the people that I was able to get information from. And some of these people, it took over 4 years to get them to say yes. But I was just persistent. That's something else you're going to have to learn in this world, persistence, because you're going to get your butt handed to you sometimes. I'm not going to be that person that's going to tell you, man, you do this and everything's going great. No, I'm going to tell you, no matter how good you get at something, no matter how well you learn it, there's still going to be hiccups. There are going to be difficult times. What's going to get you through it is the distance you are willing to go. Let me say that again. Your outcome in this life is going to be determined on one thing: the distance you're willing to go to have the things you say you want to have. You can start it, but if you don't finish it, it means nothing. Are you going to get on the treadmill and stay on the treadmill until you get it done? Are you going to go until there's nothing left or you get it done? There's a real simple thing that I literally live by, and I've been living by it for years. And it's, once I set my mind to do something, there are two options. I'm either going to get it or I'm going to die trying. I'm not going to quit on it because it didn't go my way. I'm not going to quit on it because it takes longer than I thought it would. I'm not going to quit on it because I'm getting bumped around, and I'm going to finish. That's how I've done 47 companies in 30 plus years. That's how I've written and published 26 books. That's how I was able to get through to these investors and wealth builders to be able to build the course. It's persistence and resilience. I'm not going to quit. To be in a place where you can see the fruit of your labor, that has to first be labor. But what you don't want is foolish engagement. Foolish. The thing is, while the terminology may be used different, investing is spending. So you've got two types of spenders. You got spenders who spend money on depreciating instruments or things that the moment you buy it, it's not worth what it was when you buy it, or it is something that's going to eventually be gone, whatever it is, you know. And then you have spenders who spend money on things that appreciate in value that they can hold. That's the difference between being a consumer and being an investor. What you buy. It's that simple. and you need to understand it. You need to learn it. So many things are missed. Another thing that was a theme, and I've sort of alluded to it, but another thing that was a theme when doing these interviews was compound growth. Compound growth. Are you investing in something like a passively managed mutual fund, like an index fund, like the S&P? Why? Because it pays compound annually. It's paying interest on the interest that's been built. And every time you add to it, it pays compounding over and over again. As it grows, it pays on the growth. So over time, you build it. It's a great long-term plan. This is your retirement nest egg that will continue to pay you even after you retire. See, one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen, especially from baby boomers in doing this research, is that baby boomers bought into the nest egg philosophy. What's the nest egg? The nest egg is I'm going to try to save enough money to live on after I retire. Now, savings, generally speaking, are being the average savings, interest-bearing savings account is somewhere 3% or less. Inflation has grown at a rate higher than that. So what does that mean? That the money you saved is actually depreciating in value more rapidly than any interest it's building in a savings account. That's the first mistake. The second mistake is saving will accumulate funds, but it doesn't provide an avenue for the generation of more funds. So if I save with an anticipation of living 15 years after I retire and I live 20 years, those last 5 years are going to be a problem. But if I create revenue streams with money I would have normally put in savings and I invest it, now it's in interest bearing or appreciative assets. Now I'm producing something that's growing, that holds value, that I can, if necessary, in an emergency liquidate, or more importantly, leverage to produce more money-making assets. Again, I knew something, but I knew I didn't know enough to create a course that I felt was so important to create. And here's a prime example of what I'm talking about, going the distance. When I started this, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it in a year or two. I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 years. I started this thing 2012. I've just now published this course. But this course is a life changer, and it will be a life changer for years. It will, over time, I will make back everything I invested in it. But in the meantime, I'm going to earn the benefit of watching people grow because of it. But it takes saying, look, I'm going to start something and I'm going to finish it. And it's going to take time to know. Now, what am I basically trying to say to you? Nothing can be withheld from you if you make up in your mind that you're going to master it. There are too many ways to take the value of what you put here and put it to use without anyone's permission for you to be withheld from something. Now, you may not get the job you want, no matter how qualified you are. And there may be a bunch of different reasons why you can't have that job. Some of them may be valid and some of them may be downright wrong. But in private companies, they can do a lot of things and get away with a lot of things that on the surface, you know ain't right, but you can't prove it. And so you're looking for somebody to give you a break when you have the ability to create the break yourself by mastering something and then inserting yourself into a market. So now you're generating revenue. Then you can take that same revenue without asking anyone's permission and invest it in things and buy things. And then there are solutions to all the other little nuanced challenges that you're going to face. But what you're going to have to do is be willing to master the game. No, I haven't. I haven't mastered the game, but I will. I'm doing better than the average person, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I'm going to master the game, and I'm going to bring as many people as I possibly can along with me. My whole family is going to have this course. That was one of the things I said. This is going to be one of the gifts I'm going to give my family. My family is going to have this course because this is something so important. You can't talk power, freedom, and liberty without being able to afford to take care of yourself. And if you got to go ask somebody else to give you an opportunity to do something and try to take care of your family, you're always at the mercy of someone else's plan. You are going to have to create a plan for your life that's going to have to include a financial plan long term of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Another thing we've got to do is a better job of educating our young, our kids. There are a couple of people that I truly admire that have done unbelievable jobs with their child or their children. And I marvel at it. They've done real good. They've taught them the financial responsibility, protecting their credit, how to invest and buy property, a bunch of other things before they ever leave the house. That's something I wish that it would have been done with me. It wasn't. I had to catch up. But that's something else we need to be doing. We need to create these opportunities. So with that being said, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. But before I go, I want to remind you that offer to get the Legacy Wealth Path to Generational course, which is $2,600 for only $599, ends tonight at 11:59. Now, not only are you going to get that course at a discounted price of $599, you're going to get the 7-day online business launch course free, the Mind Unleashed course for free, the Ascension 6-month personalized success and growth plan free, and 2 transformational intensive sessions with yours truly, $1,000 value free. And that only goes until tonight at 11:59 p.m. This is an opportunity, I think, of a lifetime. That one course, that Path to Generational Wealth course, will change your life. Trust me. It's 18 months. It'll probably take, it's self-paced, but I've tested it to project out that it takes 18 months. But you could take it at your pace. My thing is get as much as you can every day and revisit it. Take notes, build your own plan based off of what you're learning as you go of how you're going to approach this, because each person's desires and where you want to land and what you want to accomplish, what you're going to do is different. Which mechanisms are you going to use? You don't have to use everything in this thing, but you should be aware of it. You should be able to hold a conversation about all this stuff after a certain point, because being able to hold that conversation puts you in spaces that opens up opportunities for you. It's so huge, especially in a time right now where so many opportunities are going to open, but so many other doors are going to close. We're talking about $300 million. 300 million jobs that AI is going to replace. You want to be doing something that protects you and hedges you against that if you fall into one of those 300 million jobs. So anyway, that's that. I want to thank you for stopping by. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I challenge you to do the same. On that note, I'm out of here.